Hello to everybody that you are watching this video as we're doing vectors. We still continue with the vectors and now we're doing dot product, which is a very amazing thing to learn sincerely, that you can find out like with calculations, stuff like that, how we can do the dot product as well. In the first question, they told us that to solve the graphical dot product equation, vector A dot vector B, vector A times vector B times cosine of the angle of vector A and B. So usually when you do that, that's a dot product. Yeah, the dot product is the angle, the vector. I'm sorry, no, not the angle. Vector A, vector B, and then cosine of the two vectors of each other. Now here's an I don't have any graph. I don't see any graph here, and then I don't know what to do. So I said like, okay, let's say vector A is 1, and vector B is 1 as well. Now the angle between that, because that's going to be a very easy one to like to knock out like this. So I'm going to say angle between them is 90 degrees. Now 90 degrees, the rule is the cosine of that is going to be 0. So in cosine of the 0, 1, 1 times each other to get 0 for the dot product of A and B. Now we have the next question, which is dot product of vectors C and D, which is going to be equals to what I told you, vector C times vector D, cosine of the angle of those two angles. So we have 100 for the dot product, and then we have 10 for vector C and 20 for vector D, times cosine of the angle between them. Now we have to find out what the angle is. We're going to go ahead and put 100 on the equation. We're going to get 200 on this side, times cosine of the angle of C and D. Then we're going to divide that whole thing by 200 to get 0.5 or 1/2 for the cosine of angle of C and D. Now remember, if I have an angle of 30 degrees, the sine of 30 degrees is going to be 1/2. So then the cosine of the 60 degrees is going to be 1/2. So if you do our cosine of 0.5 for the angle of C and D, I'm going to give, even if you put in a calculator, which is totally makes sense, but know the rule is the cosine of the 60 degrees is 0.5. So if you do our cosine, or we get the inverse cosine of the 0.5 or the 1/2, you're going to get angle C and D 60 degrees. So that's the degrees, and that's how we can get the result of that angle. So pretty much, as you can see, we're just going to put everything inside of what we learned from part A, get used to the dot product, just plug all of them in, and do this stuff. Now we have the next question, which is 1000 as a dot product, and then we have 10 as the vector E and vector F. We're trying to find out the angle between E and F. Now it told us in the question, why should we be suspicious in the first place that this question, this dot product is not going to be great. So that information is false. Well, first, okay, if we just look at numbers, we have 100, 10, and 20, which will work. So if you have 10 and 10, 1000 seems to be a very huge number compared to what we have in previous parts to get a dot product. So that kind of make you suspicious with the numbers. We have 1000 and 10 and 10. Look, why 10 and 20 give us 100? So how in the world 10 and 10 is going to give us 1000? But on the other part, we're going to use the result we have in part A and part B to use a dot product and plug our data in to see why it does not work. So we're going to put everything in. We're going to get 100 on one side, and then you get 1000, and divide by 100 to get 10 as cosine of E and F. Now the thing is, if you put this in calculator, it's going to give you an error message. So that's why you should be suspicious of this information, because it's not going to work and you're not going to get an angle. So that means this information is not correct if you get 1000. Especially one other thing is that you have to see part B and part C to see like how information is very much not logically for part C, to understand if you're going to get an error message at the end if you do calculations. So that's how we can get the vectors and dot product. Hopefully you guys understand, and